Hey, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for our fourth and final installment of the Deduction Mastery Framework. Today, we'll be talking about action, and I'm just super excited to get into this topic with you. My name is Kyle Barnholt. I am the CEO and one of the co-founders at TrueUp. We help CPG brands manage deductions and trade spend to maximize sales and profitability. And without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we will jump in. So I know we've talked about this a couple times, and if you haven't seen the prior videos, I suggest you go back. We'll post it down below in the chat so that you know where you can find all the previous recordings of the framework. But the problem that we're talking about is managing deductions within your organization. We know that it can be extremely confusing, time consuming. It can suck resources from other parts of the business like sales folks out of selling, and it's just a challenge. And if you either sweep it under the rug, or wait too long to get it under control, it can really just balloon into a space where your P&L is upside down, and we get into a really serious, challenging position. And so I want to make sure, and my goal today will be to my promise on these videos is always to give you something actionable that you can walk away with, you can implement in your business with your teams immediately. And so I will make sure to deliver that for you today. And the framework, which we've hit on before, this is the deduction mastery framework. And there's four parts to this. There's categorizing your deductions. There's insights, so creating reports in a way that's intuitive and helpful for you to glean insights and manage the business. From there, you can start to drill in and get into root cause analysis of what's going on. What was this deduction or these group of deductions for? How do I manage them? Or if they're promotions, what types of decisions are we making to get those events running? And then finally, action. And action is what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to go ahead and dive into the 5 pillars to success. Before I do that, I'd like to just say that there's kind of an overarching theme here. There's an overarching idea, a big idea that I want you to think about, and that is having a cross-functional collaborative group. And these are going to be people that are internal in your organization. They could be external stakeholders, but these first 2 points really hit on that. And so the idea is finding the team internally that can help you now that you've done some root cause analysis and maybe come up with 1 to 3 really big opportunities for your organization, or maybe it's just the one deduction that you root caused and you figured out you want to now address and nip in the bud. Having these teams in place is going to be crucial for you and being successful in managing these, not only now on this immediate short-term one that you're chasing, but long-term for you as an organization. And so for our internal piece, we want to think through who is going to be involved in this process. And when I say that, I don't mean pulling people out of the field. I just mean they're going to be a resource that you can reach out to with questions when needed. And so you've got the sales team, of course, who can help answer some questions. They work directly with the customer. We've got customer service folks. These people are helping to put orders into the system, invoicing, making sure products getting from the facility to our accounts, and then of course operations. And I know sometimes these can all, if it's a smaller organization, these can all be intertwined. They may be 1 or 2 people. And if you're a larger organization, it could be a group of people. So, but those are kind of your common internal stakeholders. And the idea here is you want to make sure that you've got open lines of communication, you're sharing documents. So we talked earlier about account documents that tell you about any fines and fees that you can receive in the shipping process of working with the accounts, or maybe it is related to promotional fees or just how to work with the account in general. And then my suggestion here is have a periodic check-in with these folks. use some of those reports that we talked about early on in the framework, and insights. Take those reports and share them monthly. That could be a really good place to start, just a monthly check-in with our data in front of us and talking through some of these different types of um, deductions that we're trying to manage. All right. And then there's the external folks, and these people are really critical to our success in the industry. And so these folks are going to be like our sales brokers. They could be our warehouse if it's a 3PL. They could be our freight forwarder. But these are the types of folks you also want to have in your corner, active and involved in the conversation to help you make heads and tails of what's happening. And so, the hot tip here is, as you're getting through these root cause analysis, you may need to create some new and refreshed standard operating procedures. So in doing this root cause, we're going to learn things about our business that are going to help us be better partners to our distributors and retailers. Or maybe we didn't know that this was an important element of, the thing that's causing the fee. And so coming out of here, we could have opportunity to refresh our SOPs. Okay. And then with these folks, we're also going to share the documentations. And on top of that, it's important to share our expectations. Maybe it's service levels. Maybe it's how we communicate as partners with our warehouse when there's going to be a shortage, all those types of things. And lastly, if you don't think you have the right partner, there's a lot of great partners out there, whether they're warehouses or brokers. And so make sure you're also just assessing that on an ongoing basis. A third piece here, of course, disputing or discussing with the account is a really important piece here. Our accounts have set up this process to dispute because it's how they can work tickets through their system. I'm going to talk about that in a moment, but there's also the opportunity to discuss these things with the accountant. Make sure you understand why and what's happening. And in a lot of cases, they have resources or webinars they're doing. So don't just brush past them, join the webinars, listen, make sure you're understanding how to work best with these accounts that are going to help us grow our brand in the marketplace. So the hot tip here as we think about this is the way that I think about it when I'm in your shoes is, am I above reproach? Have I thought through this? Have I really done my homework before I go make a dispute or raise a flag, maybe even point a finger? So I want to make sure that I've done the work. I know that, I've done everything in my ability to understand what happened. And now I feel comfortable to go and file a dispute or talk to this partner about what went on. And then from there, additionally, some of our distributor and retailer partners actually have people who are designed to help you in these cases, and they want to help. They want to help either give you insight and visibility to why this type of deduction is coming through. They want to help answer questions. They're there to support. And when we think about our accounts, they're our partners, right? So we want to have that open relationship and we want to have that conversation. And so make sure that you're tapping into those folks as well. And then just in terms of disputing, we want to make sure we're following their process. Again, they've designed it so that it can run through a ticketing process, or maybe it's via email. They've designed a process so that they can more successfully answer your questions and your disputes. Number 4 is accounting correctly. And I know this sounds like a little bit, why is that so important? But if we're throwing everything into trade spend when it comes to deductions, then your P&L is really going to look off. So not every deduction is a trade spend. Sometimes it's revenue recognition. So if it's a shortage, sometimes it's fees, and that might fall somewhere else in the P&L. So just making sure that's accurate so that when we look at that and we're coming back around and talking about trade spend with our sales team, we feel like we've done a good job accurately accounting for these events and deductions. Last is tracking and measuring. So, we've talked throughout this framework around how you can build reports, how you can really manage into categories, and having a good paper trail of what's gone on. And so being able to track that over time is going to help you understand, am I making progress? And you're going to want to share that out probably monthly with your key stakeholders, the internal and externals that we talked about. And you're going to want to create and foster an environment of teamwork and accountability, because you can't do it alone. And quite honestly, this is such a big piece of your business that you can't do it as an organization without having these key stakeholders involved. I've worked with many companies, some of which, when they start doing this, they said, holy cow, the way that we manage our business is so much different. It's so much better. We were flying blind before, and I want to see that for you as well. So highly encourage this process. And with that, I want to tell you, the big idea here is set some goals. Think about, what do I want to accomplish? What are the goals? Is it, growing revenue through making sure that we're really maximizing our working trade spend, right? The dollars that are going to drive sales and drive product into the consumer's basket, reducing fees. What are those goals that are important for you, and ensuring that you're growing a sustainable business, and then tracking against those? So those are the 5 keys to success. I really believe and hope that this is helpful for you and your team and your organization. As a reminder, I've touched on some of these in our prior webinars, talking through how TrueUp can help you here. So of course, we've built a system that automates this for you. When we think about root cause analysis and we think about action, we've got within the system tutorials, definitions, best practices of how to dispute, what you want to do, how you get to the root cause. So in that, we can help you cut through that learning curve and really come out the other side and get that 10x result that you're looking to grow your business. Also, as I mentioned, we take these deductions, we automatically categorize them, we digitize them, we create reports within the system that allows you to see by category, by retailer. And we also even take in your sales shipment data and bump that up against your deductions, so you can understand, what's my trade spend with this account. And we go down to the indirect retailer within the business, so that you can understand, at this account, here's how much we're spending. Are we overspent, underspent? And with that, the next thing we're going to be talking about, that I'll be helping present on, is trade spend. And so I'm super excited to announce that as we now head out of the deduction mastery framework, which you can see at our website or follow the link in the chat, next up, we're going to go through trade spend, help you think through, how can I manage trade spend in my organization to ensure as many dollars are working as hard as possible to drive this brand, so you can become the brand that you guys have set out to be and dreamt of. So super excited to have had this time. Thanks so much for joining me. Look forward to meeting you all in the future. I hope to work with you or speak with you. Reach out at any point. You can schedule a free demo through our website, or check out more of the content there. But thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and have a good one.